read from Mike Reimer's email. Michael Reimer is a Hawaii resident and retired geologist, had a distinguished career in public service. He held a National Academy of Science postdoctoral fellowship at the National Institute for Science and Technology, worked as a research geologist in energy resources and naturally occurring radiation risks at the U.S. Geological Survey, then as a research professor at the Colorado School of Mines, heading a research institute and serving a period as chair of the graduate geochemistry program. He's a member of the Citizens Advisory Group of the Big Island to the U.S. Army, which I mentioned in my testimony, and currently is on the mainland engaged in consulting work. His recommendations are the quality of monitoring must be enhanced to be able to detect DU. I know he's had serious concerns about the air monitoring. 2, there should be independent monitoring to give assurance that the current monitoring is adequate for long-term observation. 3, any continued use of live fire at the suspected DU training area sites must cease immediately, as it could contribute to the release of aerosols. And 4, if the DU is to remain in place, the license must address the issues of this being considered a closed, low-level radioactive repository site, and appropriate measures dealing with such must be applied. He says we know the ideal solution at the former Lowry Air Force Air Base in Aurora, Colorado. When DU munitions were found, acres of surface were scraped and removed to a low-level repository site. That could be applied here. It would be consistent with the low as reasonably achievable principle, especially when the soil and bedrock background had been compromised by a factor of 2 or more. The fact that the DU may be in an area of unexploded ordnance in itself is not prohibitory, as cleanup of unexploded ordnance is performed at Waikoloa on this island when roads or housing developments are planned. Realistically, we recognize what could happen and what should happen and will not happen. We sadly recognize that this entire training area in this land of paradise, well beyond our lifetime, and a massive eruption from Mauna Loa notwithstanding, will eventually have to be declared a national sacrifice area, closed forever. No wilderness, no park, no wildlife refuge. Closed forever. Another piece of paradise lost. Don't sweep this issue under the rug, or in the case of Bahakaloa, under the basalt. Don't substitute minimal requirements where comprehensive ones should be in place. It is our objective to contribute as stakeholders seeking a proper and best resolution. We ask that you to